So hi, one of the Good Noise Podcast with Kule. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Uh, it started like as a solo project last year when I moved to Madison because I just was recording a lot and uh, my band really at the time just wasn't really trying to like write that fast.
Mhm.
And so I was just like doing a solo project, and Andrew actually produced both records that I did with my old band. So like we already had like studio chemistry, and then he moved up to Madison too, and we just started doing stuff. It's easy to send stuff back and forth with the internet and stuff, so it's been really nice.
Yeah, he has like a ton of demos that he would always send me over, and I'd be like, oh yeah, let me mix this for you. And then like he had mentioned, he was in this band called Middle Aged Overdose, and one of my old bands had like played with him. And then he had messaged me through Instagram, and I didn't see it for like 2 years or something. And and then we just started like doing stuff back and forth. He was always writing solo stuff, and then studio chemistry basically. And then when I had moved up here, we were just working on like different side projects, and then I'd ask him if I could just hop on the Kule stuff with him and do drums and do production and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of the rest is history, honestly.
Okay.
Solid. And the band name? Did you say the band name?
Oh, the band name is like this. Me rearranging my first name.
Oh,
Okay.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
It's kind of cool though.
Oh, shut up.
Dude, I set myself up for failure with that name. I swear. With all the puns. I'm like, I can't even say cool anymore without just cringing a little bit, right?
Aww. God, that's
I
tragic.
gotta get more creative.
Yeah. Oh god. Well, it's. I was gonna say it's cool anyways, but never mind.
It's kind of cool though.
It's kind of cool though.
It's okay.
So congrats on your newest release. Keep up, lose everything. How do you feel about the response to the album so far? It's crazy.
Well, it's good. It's good. It's hard to gauge it like online. I mean, you can like see streams and stuff, but it's just not like. I don't know. We didn't get to tour or anything like before we dropped. Like I played one solo show with a laptop, like last year before everything happened, and I was like, I didn't get to get like my name out there as much as I wanted to with this project.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found Twitter, which is awesome. Well, like I had a Twitter since like 2012, but I neglected it because I don't know how to use social media, and like for like ever since quarantine, I've just been being active there and like finding the coolest DIY bands all over the place, and they actually interact with you instead of seeing a post 3 days later on Facebook and not wanting to comment on it and everybody think you're weirdo.
Yeah, like how I felt with it. Sorry, how I felt with like the whole release of everything is my mom really likes it. I know that for a fact.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
No, that's the Facebook. That's the power of Facebook is when your grandma and your mom are always commenting on stuff. But yeah, Luke always takes care of all the Twitter stuff. So, like just looking at, we released it through Chillwave, which is a YouTube page, and it seems like the response to the individual tracks have been good. And then with our music video, that's a little bit of a mix because we have this long intro at the beginning. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but people kind of are. Saying that might be why people are like disliking it, but I love it. I've been really happy with everything. So
that's all that matters.
I got two inside my own head, and I was just like, I just want something to make it stick out, and it turned out to be a 1-minute-long techno interlude with a podcast of Greg Gordon.
I don't think so.
He's just he's a DIY dude from Indiana, and he has a podcast called Demo Listen. And back in the day, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, not back in the day. I sent them our new record, and they played it on there and just ripped my band apart. It was awesome. Like listen to like this middle-aged dude get like really mad about how bad my band was.
That's horrifying.
You know
what? I'm gonna cry.
So I couldn't not use the sample in the song though, you know?
Yeah.
Ripping DIY bands apart is the only thing I'm scared of doing on the podcast.
that
That is the only thing I'm afraid of.
That podcast is still going strong too, and I don't think they ever really. I mean, they do give stuff like positive reviews, like when it's like the '90s hardcore feel of whatever they're looking for. I don't know. It's called demo listen, so like they don't really just put a genre label on it or anything.
Yeah.
And they just like to rip stuff apart. I mean, same here.
That guy did, yeah.
But I try to not rip the DIY stuff apart because then everybody gets butthurt, and I'm like, oh no.
No, for sure. It definitely wasn't like a butthurt thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't care. Honestly, I'd rather have somebody rip my band apart than be like, not even pay attention to it.
That's
Yeah.
completely valid.
That's valid. I get that.
Yeah.
Gloria, I thought your album name was actually just like what your name was as like an
Yeah.
acronym.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean, it kind of was. It kind of
Oh.
is. I like to do that kind of crafty stuff.
Okay. All right. So is there any meaning behind the album name or cover art?
You can do the album name. I can talk about the album art.
Yeah, you can go with the album art first.
Okay, so the album art, basically, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, with like wearing the masks and everything, with the whole mask mandate and the county
We're
that
not
we're in.
anti-mask.
Okay.
No, wear
Good to
it.
know. Good to know.
Yeah, wear a mask. Can I swear? Is that a thing I
Yeah.
can do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck people don't wear them, to be completely honest. So, so I was just like, what's one way of really putting my opinion out there? Put it on the fucking album art so people can just see it right away. No
Yeah.
questions asked. Like, this is how we feel about the pandemic.
Mhm.
And we wrote it throughout the pandemic. So it kind of ties into like our personal beliefs and like the time that we were in. And I ended up going on like royalty free, like image stuff, and ended up finding that picture. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. So it was a lady from Russia, I believe, that she was on there. And I ended up messaging her, asking her if I could just use this and like as my band's album. And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. She's like, don't even worry about crediting me, like whatever. I was like, okay. So we just took it. I sent it over to Luke, and he was like, oh, yeah, this is amazing. And then we just messed around with fonts. I do Photoshop and everything. Yeah, Photoshop. But I just ended up making all that up. And then it just kind of tied in with, it just ties in with the times more than anything. So.
And I feel like the name more or less just, I don't know. I don't know, feel overwhelmed with trying to do like, social media stuff while writing songs, while doing all this stuff. Like being a band, you have to like, to be even moderately successful, you have to do so much stuff. And it feels like I'm just keeping up with everything,
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. I kind of just went with the acronym, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well.
And then like starting over with my band name, like I had like a good, like not a big following with my old band, but like, like a hometown following, and like kind of just like nip that in the bud to like try something new, and that's when the pandemic hit, and I was just gonna like start to, network through Twitter and like, actually talk to venues instead of, I don't know how you tour through Facebook, like, but yeah. So I'm just like anxiously waiting for shows to come back, so I'm not like 30 years old trying to play shows in basements.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
valid. All right.
Although I definitely will.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Why not? So, can you guys tell me about your writing process for this album?
I basically put out a rough draft to Andrew, and like I use GarageBand, like built-in drums, and like they're not terrible, but like they're not the most like personal or like unique. And he definitely puts like a really big flair on the drums and the song structure, like all the super sweet parts with like the stopping of all the guitars and just like the bass and like drums and vocals and stuff. Like those are all his ideas, and like it's been really cool, like back and forth. Like I was in bands with like 4 people with like, nobody really wanted to contribute that much.
Aw.
And now I got one person that like send me back an entire song,
Like, is this good?
like yeah.
Yeah, he
And,
basically
like,
would just
be
like demo
active.
out. Yeah, he'd like demo out everything, and then I listen. I mean, this dude sends me folders if you guys ever had like 4 hours just to sit and listen to demos, you can
Oh my
hear
God.
half of what this guy sent me. My
Only
Google
half?
Google Drive is like, we got like 3-4 albums just ready to go, basically.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, he sends me a bunch, like, so he'll send me, rough drafts, so he'll do like the drums and everything, and then I put it into my DAW, my program, and then I'll just like get an idea on like air drum and stuff, and I'll just like kind of write stuff out. And then just kind of cut and paste around things, and song structure wise. And I'm like in the heart like metalcore kid,
Mhm.
so I don't know if you can see I'm wearing a Code Orange shirt.
As you should.
Oh,
So-
taste.
yeah. They got a live stream tonight too. I'm pretty stoked about that. But
As you should.
Code Orange, I'm super inspired by them because they're basically just put anything anywhere and it'll work for them.
Mhm.
And to me, that's kind of like what I was doing. I was like, why not try and just move things around? Like, what's it gonna hurt? And yeah, it normally just kind of comes out to him being like, holy shit, this is so fucking good. But I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like, yeah, that's literally our songwriting process. Is just let Luke be Luke, and he lets me be me. And we
Yeah.
come back together, and then we kind of talk about things, or we leave it as is, sit on it for a while, and come back to it if we have any ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the one bad thing about always writing and indulging in your own demos. You get burnt out and you have to like just chill for a little bit. And I hate how awful like it makes like I feel during that, you know.
Mhm.
And I try to force myself to do something, and I just end up sitting at the computer like listening to a podcast or like.
I
that's
felt
pretty
that on
valid.
so many levels. Goddamn. So what song on this album took the longest to write, and then what is your favorite?
Oh, that's a good question.
I
That's a
know
really
we
good
came up with it
question.
ourselves.
The longest to write. He writes stuff so fast. I wish I can tell you which one took 3 songs that took the shortest.
Sure, we'll flip the question.
I can tell you the 3 songs. So we have 9 songs total. We had 6 ready to go. We ended up dropping 1 because it just, to me, it didn't really match, and he agreed with me. And then he popped out 3 more just like that, and he was like, "Yeah, I think these 3 would work." So temp agency reject, lose everything, and static. Those 3 are right after each other. Those came like that.
And honestly, those are like my favorite on the record. It's
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
how like the quickest songs you write. That's like I like to just like sporadically record, or I don't even know if it's sporadically, but just jam, you know,
Mhm.
on a DAW,
Yeah.
and just like record everything. It's basically
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Video.
I guess I could say maybe I Don't Dream probably took the longest because we sat on that one for a minute before we released it and really knew that was
Definitely.
the one we wanted to put out.
And that definitely molded the mixes for the other songs too. Stuff like
Yeah.
that, how we want everything sonically to sound.
Exactly. Yeah, that one was like basically the borderline and like the template for everything. So when he would record guitars, I would use the same template that we used for the I Don't Dream session and just put them in. So everything sonically sounded the same. It was easy for me. I just got on my computer for an hour and I was like, boom, another song, get it out.
Easy.
Send it over.
Literally just
Yeah.
shitting them out at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
We're a very productive band with no marketing skills at all.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, you could use all that extra time. Make Andrew start promoting.
I did. I'm
Maybe we do
trying
something.
to, but he's anti-Twitter. I don't know.
I am.
As
Oh.
you- I completely
Yeah, stay away from
understand,
it.
though.
Stay away from it.
I find myself going in and out of it, and I like neglect it for days, and I'm like, shit, I don't know how people stay so consistent with it.
We don't know consistency. We just do
Yeah.
whatever we want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tweet when we feel like it. Answer DMs when we feel like
Yeah,
it.
when you guys feel like it, you just get Lily from Beach Bunny on
Yeah.
there.
Oh.
Want to come on the pod? And she's like, sure.
I don't know.
My old band actually played with Beach Bunny
Oh my
2
God.
years ago in a backyard in Schaumburg.
That's
That
so
is very
cool.
And the cops showed up 3 times because there's
Oh.
so many people there.
God.
That is very
It was
cool.
like literally right before they like started blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
really good friends with Jonathan, the drummer.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really,
Yeah,
really
he's
cool.
he's a drummer and like singer in another band called Mount Potono from
Mhm.
Elgin. They're really
Ooh.
good.
Yeah. All right. Solid. So, can you tell me where your headspace was while creating this album?
I guess just getting to a better situation and looking back at how aimless and just destructive I was living before. Like before I moved to Madison, I was living in a punk house, and like it was. I lived there for 2 years, and like the first year was cool. Like the house was like intact, and like we were starting to throw shows and stuff, and then it just started going downhill, and just I don't know, I felt myself getting weirdly distant away from like my roommates and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, I don't know what it is. It's just like my hometown, you know, typical pop punk band bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get away, and now I'm in Madison. And it's nice. It's not, I like just looking back, just I could have been doing so much more with my time. I don't.
Yeah.
So this is just me releasing my frustration about that.
Alright.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
So this question should be like super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. Both of you have to do it.
Yeah, both of you.
Easycore revival.
We'll
now-
take the
Easycore
hyphen
revival.
out of easy core.
Ah,
and make
damn
it
it. Yeah,
Super fucking sick.
I like that one. That's my favorite. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, solid, solid.
Cool.
So, you guys released 2 albums this year. How did you do that? Because a lot of bands usually release like 1 album every 2 years, but you guys said no. We're gonna reverse that and release 2 albums in one. What?
Trust me, we got another one coming pretty soon too.
Oh, so you're gonna make it 3
Yeah, we got
in a year.
Well, I'm trying to diligently look for cool, like just bands that want to do a split with us. Like, so any bands out there that want to do a split, DM us because
Yeah,
we're trying
100%.
All right.
to just get out there. And I
All right. So
Alright.
I don't know
3
how
and
else
4.
to get out there right now. You know,
Yeah.
besides
Albums
just
to
recording
split.
more music.
Jesus.
And honestly, I wanted to like release them all as singles, you know, because I don't know how to get Spotify listeners or like, you know, or just, you know, streams.
hmm
Obviously, you have to tour and stuff, but you can't do right now.
Uh-huh.
Or you could like just sink money into ads, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. It feels so just yucky. I'd rather
Yeah, that's fair.
take the long route, I guess.
Mhm.
That's completely valid. Yeah, whenever people sink money into it, it typically doesn't work out. I've seen a couple of
Yeah,
our
and
friends
it's
do
just-
it, and then it just goes. They had like thousands of monthly listeners, and they stopped putting money into it, and they're back to like double-digit monthly listeners.
It's
and I'm
such
like,
a fabricated fan base that you
Yeah.
don't even like. It's like to the point where like numbers don't even matter. Like,
and
like
it
we don't
doesn't
even have
translate
100.
anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know why you would do that. Like, it's great that your song has 30,000 listeners, but you still got 200 followers on Twitter. It's not adding up.
Oh, dude, I have a couple bands I know from even like here in Madison that like do that like literally like 30,000 fucking Spotify listeners, but like nobody at the shows. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah, it
how
doesn't.
does this not translate?
It doesn't
Yeah.
translate because they're paying for it all.
Yeah.
So I know you guys literally just released this album. What can you tell us about this album that's apparently on the horizon?
And the split.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so here's the track list coming for the new one.
wait,
We have we got 8 songs right here that are just demoed out, and then I'm pretty
my
sure we
God.
got possibly 2 more that I have right here. Yeah, we got a bunch going. And like I said, if you have 4 hours, you can listen to half of what this guy sent me.
wow.
We might have 4 hours.
I
don't know.
I need a lot of
I don't.
attention. Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, no, it's just he kind of puts my ass in gear on some things because he'll put so much out, and I'm like, damn, some days, you know, I just want to listen to like what we made, and then I'm like, well, hold on, when we make something new, I listen to that like 100 times a week, like literally. I'm not even under exaggerating or over exaggerating. I listen to it so much, and I'm like, I always get so stoked on like the new things that he comes out with and like the boundaries that I'm able to push like for myself, production wise, and like drumming, not so much. Like when I do my drum tracks, I keep it very like straight, like nothing too crazy. I'm gonna save that from when we play live, because at our practices I go absolutely nuts because it's just fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, just from that standpoint, it's always nice to just kind of have like new things always constantly coming, because with the pandemic going on right now, that's all you have to do. That's all you really can do. Like I see bands doing all these streams now, selling tickets, doing that, which is good. You know, that's another like element to just kind of this whole thing that we never even could have thought about. Like, oh, who would have thought that streaming concerts would have been the next thing instead of just actually going to concerts? Twitch being a big thing, and I stream on Twitch all the time, just like playing video games and stuff. But bands doing it now, that's really cool. I've always seen kind of on like just chatting or whatever, I think is what it is. People will be like making beats or mixing their music or whatever, and I think that adds another element and a personal, just like like the only word I can think of is element, a personal element to this side of this pandemic that no one could have predicted. And I think it's the only thing that you can do is just keep on keeping on and make music videos, streams, do stuff like this, which I appreciate you guys wanting to talk to us. Thank you.
Of course.
And just writing. That's all you really can do, because it can't get any personal from my camera to yours at this point. So
Yeah.
I also feel like, I don't know, it's a lot of luck to just get it being a successful band. Like, not that the bands that like are successful are just successful because they're lucky, but like, I don't know, like, I don't know, it just seems so unreachable sometimes.
Yeah.
Because like, what even is a successful band? You know, I don't know. I have like conversations about this all the time. Like, what even constitutes it? You know, as long as you're happy with what you're writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest thing was like I felt successful in like being in a band if I could actually show it to people, like and be there and listen to it with them. This is the first project that I've ever been able to do that. Every other band that I've been in, or little side things that I do, I'll like send a link to somebody, or like I'll be like, hey, I came out with this new song. I'm gonna leave the room though, because I don't want to be here to listen to it. Yeah. So with this band, I'm like, fuck, I'm like, listen to this shit with me. This shit hits. Like if like a riff's going or something, I'll get so stoked. And like I said, it's never been like that before. So I think I measure my success based off my happiness and Luke's happiness with what we're doing. So I think we're pretty successful, in my opinion.
All right.
Fuck a dislike, you know what I mean?
I also feel like that's why I write a lot too, because like, I don't know, I made a couple records when I was still fresh with vocals, and I didn't really like find my voice as like confidently as I do now. It's still a work in progress, but like, I don't know, I can't help but cringe when I listen to old stuff. And like, like Andrew said, this new record's like, it's good. I could stay in the room and listen to it.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
So
I meant to not. What?
Not for the last couple questions. Corey's
Oh
got a
yeah,
question.
homie, I still got one. All right. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
Hopefully touring.
That'd be good. That'd be great.
Yeah, I never want to. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just hopefully still pushing boundaries and just making tunes. Like, me and Andrew have been like making music together for like, I don't know, like 4 years now, maybe longer than that. Like, and yeah, I don't know. I just want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's nice to see where you come when you like listen to your old stuff and listen to your new stuff.
Yeah, I never like to have like goals that far out, because like with something like this that's happening right now, you never can predict what happened. So you kind of have to just adapt to the times and adapt to like if someone's ideas of their life or whatever changes. Somebody's focus could be different in 5 years. I could get a promotion, he could get a promotion at his job, and like the time may not be there to do it. So it's like, I always like to just look at least a week or two, maybe even like a month ahead, because it's like, I like to set myself at little things at a time and like hit those milestones rather than like the big one, because I would rather the big one. I don't want to put my expectations too high, and then if it doesn't happen, I'm going to feel like shit. So I always look at least a month ahead at the most and just kind of go with that.
Yeah, I've been starting to try to get better at that, because I just get kind of lost waiting for the big picture.
That's fair.
All right. So now, for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Let me go first?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's like cauliflower, but it's like teriyaki chicken, but cauliflower.
Cauliflower wings, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Those are so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
What-
probably it. Wait, what's
what-
the drink?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drink, yeah.
Ooh, a blueberry Vita ice.
Ooh. All right.
All right.
Solid.
That's good.
All right, I would probably do. There's this place in, I think it's Machesney Park, Illinois, and it's called Pig Minds, and it's all plant based. They're a whole vegan brewery.
Mhm.
I would probably have their quesadilla burger with their sweet potato fries,
Mhm.
and then since it's my last meal, fuck it, get a beer. Just throw it in there. I don't even drink beer anymore, but I'm going out, so might as well get one.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Solid. So, if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Not the new Cyberpunk. They keep delaying it, so I don't even know if I'd be able to
Yeah,
get there.
I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about that.
I would live in like the realm of Halo.
Oh,
Probably,
yeah. Which
like-
one though?
Well, Halo 3 was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Halo 2 and Halo 3. I would just go with Halo 3, the whole story behind that. I would love to live
Good.
in there. I'd be like the Arbiter or something cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good
Yeah.
taste.
Dragon Ball Z.
Damn, I should have thought of that. Yeah.
You can go to Dragon Ball Z too if you want.
Nah, I'll stick with Halo. Halo's my
Okay.
favorite.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to have said it's the most important question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite color?
Ooh.
Mine's blue,
Go first.
easily.
Okay. Blue.
Easily, like any shade of blue.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, even though I'm wearing all black. I mean,
Yeah.
what a joke, right? I'm wearing all
Mhm.
black. So, yeah. I'd probably go blue.
Blue. All right.
I just like black, man. I don't know. Black and white. I don't know, or black and white checkers. I don't know.
All
Yeah, that'd be good.
Solid.
Solid.
So, as I said, that is all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Just listen to Keep Up, Lose Everything
Period.
Hell yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Or once if you don't like it. I don't know.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us, guys. This has been cool, and we
Yeah,
have a good
thank
nice
you.
podcast.